things can happen at any moment. Of course, we can be religious, we can be spiritual, we can believe in God, we can take things for granted, right? But inevitable risks are going to happen, right? If it is not death, it can be health problems, we can get sick, things can happen to our children, we can have accidents, we can lose our jobs, we will be pensioned one day, we will have a drop of income, and so there's a lot of problems that might arise. So what is very important is to have an open mind.
Today, I welcome you to Okrobia Media. As I said already in Okrobia Media, if I see you doing something good, something encouraging, the thing that can improve somebody also in his or her life, I'll try to bring that person in Okrobia Media show for you to know. Today, we've got a very special person. He's here to tell us what you don't know, or maybe if you know it, you don't know much. So today, just relax and listen to what he had for us. Before then, I just want to ask you, if you are not yet subscribed to Okrobia Media, could you please subscribe to Okrobia Media? Okay, so please now help me to welcome our guest. Okay.
Hello.
Bros, how are you?
Very good, very good. And yourself?
I'm okay.
Thank you very much, first of all, for having me.
No problem.
It was
no problem.
one take introduction.
You know, we spoke on the phone, and then today we made an appointment that today they will meet and see how things will go.
Yes.
And then by God's grace, here we are this afternoon.
Perfect.
So I just want you to introduce yourself to our viewers.
Okay, perfect.
And tell us who you are.
All right. Well, hello everyone. Thanks for actually having me. Right. My name is Jia-Wei. I got in touch with you actually through a friend. Right. I got recommended because I met him first on the first appointment, and the value and the information I shared, he thought was quite interesting and wanted me to share this to the public and to the community. Because I would say that the information or the value I would actually offer is information that is maybe not exposed to the community. Have been doing my profession as a financial planner, financial advisor, and a social security advisor for 3 years and a half now.
Where do you come from exactly?
Well, indeed, I am indeed, right? As you can see, it's Asian. I'm Chinese, more specifically. Yes.
Ah, ni hao.
Ni hao, ni hao, ni hao. I actually grew up here, so I was born in Belgium, second generation. So my parents came to Belgium as foreigners, right? The first generation, they came to Belgium, had to build everything from ground up. And so I was born here, and so I'm kind of Belgium, so I speak like the languages we have to speak in Belgium. That's it. I grew up here.
Okay, where were you born in Belgium? Was it which city?
I was born in Flanders, in Termonde. So that's where I was born, around the corners of Hamme.
Okay.
My mother and my parents came to Belgium.
It's not far from here.
It's not very far.
Okay.
But I grew up most of my life in Brussels.
Ah, Brussels.
A city you don't like.
Ah, I don't like Brussels. Brussels, I don't like there. Where did you start your education?
I studied in Brussels, right?
I
went to high school in Koninklijk Atheneum van Etterbeek in Brussels, a very nice secondary school. And then I went to university in TEW, so social economic sciences, applied sciences, at the VOB. So I studied economics, and so it has always been my field. I've always studied in economics in Brussels.
Oh, all right. So now, are you working like the job we want to study in school? That's what you're working on now, or did you change it along the line?
Well, let's just say that it is kind of in the same field. It is still economics, right? Finances. Like a lot of matter I studied, I can apply in my current job right now. But let's just say that it is indeed more or less in the same field and in the same direction. Yes. And like it is very difficult as a young guy, right? Starting his life, studying, and we receive a lot of pressure, right? When we're 18, 19, 20 years old, we ask us, what do you want to do with your life? What are you supposed to do? What direction do you want to take in your life? And at 18 years old, we don't know, right? We have no idea where we want to go. So it was always very frustrating for me to not find my path, right? I had a lot of motivation. My parents have always educated me nicely, right? I've never been scared to work and to advance in life and to work on myself, but never knew how. And so I'm very grateful and glad to have found this opportunity at the company that I'm currently working, to be able to build a career where I would actually find the satisfaction on the long term later on in life.
All right, let's come to the main thing. That's why we are here.
Okay.
All right. You called me. You told me something about social security issues, right?
Absolutely, yes.
That's
Social
what
security
you are
issues, yeah.
doing.
That is what I do.
Take us through. Tell us a bit
Perfect.
about it.
Well, to introduce my profession a little bit,
yeah.
I am actually a future planner, a financial advisor, slash social security advisor. And so my job is basically to help people project themselves into their future and help them actually plan ahead, step by step, what their future projects are, be it housing projects, right? Real estate, going holiday, pension, having children, whatever their projects might be in the future, and help them realize their projects and future plans with the most ease and guarantee possible.
Yes.
By taking into account the risks of life that might maybe prevent them from arriving there. Because there's a lot of things that can happen during a lifetime that might prevent us from actually realizing these projects and actually arriving there. And so against these risks of life, we already have a system that has been established like after the Second World War, is called the social security system in Belgium. And so you probably all know, right, people that live in Belgium, even in other countries, that there is like this national insurance, this national security system that protects us against these risks. For example, healthcare, education, pension, child support, right? All these systems that have been established to protect the Belgian population and to stimulate the economy of moving, right? And so this system was founded years ago to protect the Belgian population. But unfortunately, what we're noticing is that throughout the years, this system is protecting us less and less. While the risks of life are increasing year by year. The costs of living are also increasing year by year. So that means that as an individual, as a person, right, as a brother, as a father, as an individual simply, we are exposed to more and more risks. And sometimes without even noticing it. And so therefore, that is kind of where I come in, right, after a meeting, is to actually exchange with the client and see where the client is already safe currently in Belgium, but especially to see where the client is maybe not safe yet. And then, depending on where he's not safe, find a solution afterwards.
So, if somebody call you, let's say a person like me, like if I call you, that I need you to protect me, how is it going to be?
Well, first we're going to discuss, right? Of course, I'm not going to talk about solutions and products directly up front, right? I'm not going to say you have to do this, you have to do that. First, we're going to discuss. I'm going to see where your needs are, where your priorities are, what your family situation is, what your financial situation is. And we're going to discuss what your future projects might be, like for instance, your pension, where you're directed. And we're going to see simply what you already have in place in terms of security. Like we have the basic social security system, and then we have a lot of individual, personal protections that we need to put in place. We're going to see what you already have in terms of coverage and what you don't have yet. And depending on the analysis at a first appointment after a conversation, I'm going to get back to you at a second appointment with the solutions. If I take an analogy, an example, for instance, when's the last time you went to the doctor, for instance? You told me about your shoulder. You went to the doctor. You shared what your problems were, where your pain was. The doctor measured your temperature and saw where things were missing, and he analyzed your body basically. And depending on what he detects, he's going to prescribe you medicine, send you to the specialist for you to get treated and get healthy again. Right? With us, same thing. So I'm going to analyze this, not the health, but the security of my clients, and find a solution afterwards for his needs.
So what's the most issue people used to come to you for assistance?
It's a very good question. Well, it kind of depends really on the family, right? So there's not really one issue that is bigger than the other. Like every family has their issues. An example would be, right, if I take an example linked to social security currently in Belgium, and that is something that might also affect the audience currently, is maybe I know your community is quite mostly African. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
When I look at my African clients, for instance, right, a very big, important problem that arises quite often is when a person unfortunately passes away, for instance.
Okay.
When a family member passes away, like you have a family, right? A structured family, like a husband, a wife, 2 children that have rent to pay, that have electricity to pay, school to pay for the children, groceries, food, projects, school, and everything. And then one day, all of a sudden, unfortunately, the husband went to work, had an accident, didn't come back, and so passed away, right? So the husband is not around anymore, which means that the family only has one income left, one income. So the mother is working, but with the same cost, same rent, same amount of children, same cost, same school, same education to pay, with one salary. And above that, the husband that passed away not only does not contribute anymore to the future of the family, but costs money. Because when a person passes away, it can easily cost up to 10,000 euros. The ceremony, the funeral, I know the repatriation is quite important also in the African community, to be repatriated back to Africa. All those things are very expensive, right? They can easily go up to 10,000 euros. So if the partner does not have the 10,000 euros, it's going to be very, very stressful on the long term financially for the family surviving, right? So bottom line is, when a person is alive and has responsibilities, which is a family, he can contribute a lot to the family. But when the person is not alive, not only is a person not contributing anymore, but costs money to the family, right? It's very difficult. And usually we don't really think about that, right? We don't usually think about the consequences when a person passes away. But this is reality. And with the cost of living in Belgium increasing, many, many, many different families, not only the African community, are affected by this inevitable risk in life.
So in this case, what will you do to help?
Well, let's just say that me as a broker, right, I work with many, many different insurance companies and firms. And so we can find on the market today what companies and firms can basically intervene in these types of situations. There are insurances today, there are coverages that will basically pay for everything. Right? The day something happens to a family member, they will pay for everything. Not only will they pay for anything, they will everything. They will also take care of the organizational consequences. So how do we organize a funeral? Also, everything will be organized from A to Z. The repatriation will also be taken care of. Will be organized. The administrative consequences, right? You have a lot of paperwork that we leave behind. Also, electricity, gas, telephone, water bills, a working contract, your accounts at the banks, documents at City Hall. Everything needs to be put up to date. And so these insurances that are specialized in these fields will intervene and make sure that the family can rest assured and simply focus on what is most important, which is to be with the family, right? And not having to stress and run left and right and take care of all these difficulties.
Okay. Insurance you are working for, what is the name?
Well, as a broker, I work with an insurance brokers firm, which is called OVB Willemot. We have more than 178 years of existence, so almost
178 years.
Actually, 181 years, yeah. So
Wow.
we were founded in 1841. Very, a lot of experience.
It's a global, or is it only Belgium here?
Willemot is Belgium, but we are part of a European multinational that is called OVB. OVB has more than 50 years of experience in Belgium on a European field, available in 15 different countries throughout Europe.
Oh. Yeah. And then what do you master on? What actually do you the master on? Is it only for the social assistance they give, only like families? Or is that what they do, or they do any other thing?
Well, it's a wealth management firm. So every country kind of has its needs, let's just say, as a company. So every country has their specialties. But in general, it is really wealth management. So looking at the family, future planning, see what the situations look like, see where they're safe, where they're not safe yet, help them move forward in life with the most tranquility and ease possible. That's kind of what it is.
I want you to give us some advices to the people out there who are at risk. You understand?
Okay.
The advices to people who are not protected.
Okay.
That anything that just happen to them, and then they will have no way out to go. Yeah.
What I would advise to everyone is actually, first of all, to have an open mind, right? Knowing that things are not always easy, right? Yeah. The life is not always smooth, right? It's ups and downs. It can things can happen at any moment, of course, we can be religious, we can be spiritual, we can believe in God, we can take things for granted, right? But inevitable risks are going to happen, right?
Yeah.
If it is not death, it can be health problems. We can get sick. Things can happen to our children. We can have accidents. We can lose our jobs. We will be pensioned one day. We will have a drop of income. And so there's a lot of problems that might arise. So what is very important is to have an open mind to solutions and how it works in Belgium, and to be able to adapt to the Belgium, because I'm also a foreigner, right?
Yeah.
My parents are also foreigners. Yesterday I met a Chinese couple, right? And they don't speak like French or Dutch, right? They speak only solely Mandarin. And I've noticed that they don't follow the traditions here in Belgium, right? But it is important for a foreigner here in Belgium to stay within the community, to have this connection to the community, but also adapt to how it works in Belgium, right? We need to be able to adapt, and we need to adapt then to this Belgium social security system and find the necessary solutions to protect us.
Okay. Let me ask this. Maybe unfortunately, if somebody house got burnt or he lost a property and you don't have maybe you don't have any protection, how can you come in to help?
If the family did not have any protection,
Yeah.
well, that is very difficult, right? Because if the family did not think ahead, right, and the house burned down, there's not a lot we can do, right? Because it burned down, right? It's a very famous saying in the security and insurances field is we cannot insure a house that is already burning.
Okay.
Right? We cannot insure a person that is already sick for the specific disease, right? We cannot insure a car that is in 1,000 pieces, right? Yeah. It's too late.
Oh, okay.
That is why we need to prevent the house for if it would burn, right? That's what I meant with not take things for granted, right? We don't know what's going to happen, right?
Okay.
No one is protected against these things. And so when we talk about the house more specifically, well, it is to basically have coverage, have insurance before it happens.
Okay.
And if it happens one day, God forbid, then at least you have a safety net you can rely on.
Okay.
Right? And you're not on your own, basically. So the modalities kind of depend, right? It kind of depends on multiple factors, right? You can kind of choose. It's quite flexible. You can decide to do the payments like monthly, trimesterly, every 6 months, every 1 year, on and off contract, like permanent contracts or temporary contracts. It's really flexible. So it's really up to you to decide whatever suits you. And so the specific house insurance, for instance, for insurance?
Yeah, let's say house insurance.
It would really depend, really, right, on how many rooms you have. It would depend on how long the house has been established. It kind of depends also on how many bedrooms you have, the different pieces, right? It depends on a lot of things. So it's difficult to say how much it will cost. But every insurance, let's say, kind of has its own price, right? Okay. Every insurance price is calculated proportionally to multiple factors. But that is debate. We can discuss that like at a conversation, a private conversation or a private analysis, always with every individual client.
Okay. Is it about only maybe the house that you covered, or is it anything else?
Oh yeah, so it's materials like house, car, stuff, materials, or life. Everything that is linked to life, like healthcare insurance, death insurance, repatriation insurance, pension saving, child savings for children, child investments, insurances if we have an accident, all these types of insurance. So really linked to materials and life, we do everything.
Talking about, you have some Ghanaian clients. Okay.
To be honest, I feel like the Ghanaian community, if I can be honest, has financial knowledge, like has a sensitivity to financial planning. They know about the risks, right? They know that they are in Belgium currently, and that they know that they're not at home, right? They know that they have to adapt and they have to think ahead, right? Because we came to Belgium, we are here now, we have a family here, so people are relying on us currently. And so since we're in Belgium, we need to make sure that we don't have to go back also, right? Okay. Because we already made the move to come here, right? I think that's not only like the Ghanaian community, like with us Chinese also same thing. We sacrifice so much back home to come here, to start over. Yeah. So we can't, there's no plan B, right? There's only plan A. We have to make it work the first time. So we need to prepare ourselves and our families against these risks. And so every time I meet a Ghanaian family, they don't always like subscribe to any insurance, but they are affected by it. They are touched by the information I give every time.
All right.
That's
At this time, I just want you to give us your contacts, your maybe social media handles, so that anybody that have interest of joining you, that person can come to you.
Perfect. Well, actually, you can add me on Instagram. Instagram is iamjiaway, so it's iamjiaway.
Okay.
iamjiaway. You can follow me on Instagram. I don't have YouTube, but you can follow me on Instagram. And for inquiries, like if you need any advice, if you just need like an information session, if we would like to receive a free analysis, and that's very important, is that the analysis and the first approach is always free. Even the second approach, the second information, the advice I give afterwards, the solution I propose, are all for free, right?
Okay.
So there's no cost attached to it. So because we are paid by the firms behind.
Okay.
And so really, don't hesitate to contact me. You can contact me by email on my Gmail address. You can contact me on wang.ovb@gmail.com. Maybe you can write it down in your description, right?
Yeah.
And don't hesitate to contact me. I'll take the time with pleasure to set up an appointment on Zoom. We can do it at distance. You have to live in Belgium though, and I will take the time to analyze your situation and help you move forward a bit better in
And it's
life.
nothing like telephone number, because the black communities, you like to call. Let me just call and find it straight on. There's nothing like telephone number maybe you can give on.
Well, let's just say I can give my phone number.
Your personal number now.
My personal number, I think maybe not, right?
Okay.
On the YouTube, but you can contact me directly by email.
Email.
And I'm quite responsive. I'm quite fast.
All right. That's our brother Jawel. He's ready to help you. He's ready to help each and everyone. That's what we are doing this Okrobia Media. Okrobia Media, we are here just to promote our brethren, those who are doing something important. So please, let's do well to help him. He's doing a good thing. He's doing a very, very good. As I told you, if I see you doing something, Okrobia Media, we just come to you and then help advertise it. And for sure, we shall be.